On 7 News tonight, racial tension in Texas. Protesters take to the streets after 5 police officers were gunned down.
New details on the war veteran behind the deadly attack.
A Good Samaritan stabbed trying to break up an argument on a street.
A shop attendant fights back against a robber at Mount Gravatt.
A thrill for Gold Coast fans as Tom comes out to play, but no sign of Taylor.
And Prince George steals the show in his first official royal engagement.
Live from our Brisbane headquarters, this is 7 News Queensland.
Good evening. The streets of downtown Dallas are empty tonight, still in lockdown after the deadly sniper attack the US president called vicious and despicable. As the nation mourns, we're learning more about the gunman who murdered 5 police officers.
He was 25-year-old Micah Johnson, a decorated veteran of the Afghanistan war. His calculated killings were motivated by a hatred of white people and police. And 24 hours on from the shooting, it's quiet on the streets of downtown Dallas. Rob Scott is there as one of America's largest cities remains locked down.
Yes, that's right. Much of downtown Dallas remains cordoned off by police, approximately 20 blocks, in fact, as those officers continue with their forensic examination, one that is so large and so spread out it could take days to complete. This afternoon, the mayor of Dallas says despite the fact that large sections of the heart of this city remain a no-go zone for all of its citizens, he is confident that the danger has passed and it is now safe. Although at the same press conference, the governor of Texas says that he could not be 100% certain that Micah Johnson, the shooter, did not at least have some assistance in planning this attack. With all of that in mind, the President Barack Obama says that he will cut short his overseas trip, one that he's currently on, and return home to the United States because he wants to visit Dallas to see firsthand the impact that this attack has had on the city.
Rob Scott reporting there. The Dallas attack has once again exposed 2 issues causing the deepest and deadliest divides in American society: race and guns. The nation's leaders admit it's left people feeling helpless and afraid. They've called for calm while others demand action.
A Gold Coast man is recovering after being stabbed for trying to break up a fight. Mackenzie Lyon, did the man know the couple involved?
Katrina, police say he didn't. The 26-year-old was simply walking home by himself around 4:30 this morning when he came across a man and a woman who'd been drinking and were arguing in a street at Labrador. The Good Samaritan says he went over and told the pair to stop fighting. That's when a 44-year-old man allegedly stabbed him once in the stomach. Earlier today, police divers were at the Labrador Broadwater searching for several items where they found a knife. Now, the man has been cooperating with police and will face court on Monday.
OK, Mac, and Sarah Greenalch, a man in his 90s, has been attacked in broad daylight.
Yeah, that's right, Katrina. This elderly man suffered a fractured jaw and was hospitalised after being attacked just before 3:30 on a bike park in Newmarket. Now, police say a 45-year-old man went on an aggressive and angry random rampage, hitting 4 people, including an elderly woman who was punched in the face. Now, members of the public managed to restrain this man. They tackled him and held him there until police arrived. Tonight, he's here in hospital undergoing a mental health assessment, and he's expected to face several serious assault charges. Meanwhile, police are appealing to any witnesses or any other victims of this attack to come forward.
Thank you, Sarah. Opposition leader Bill Shorten says he's not conceding defeat in the federal election. A week after Australia voted, the result is still undecided, but with each day, Malcolm Turnbull edges closer to victory.
North Korea has once again defied sanctions and fired a missile from a submarine. South Korea says the missile failed shortly after being launched in waters just east of the Korean peninsula. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un described a similar launch 3 months ago as an eye-watering success.
The Parramatta Eels' season of shame hit rock bottom this morning. The NRL officially stripped the club of 12 competition points, the Auckland Nines title, and delivered a $1 million fine for deliberately cheating the salary cap for 6 years.
A car has ploughed into a house near Bundaberg, narrowly missing the people inside. The female driver lost control of the car just before midnight. It smashed through a wooden fence, then became airborne, hitting the roof of a Bargara home before landing upside down. No charges have been laid. Police are investigating. A mother and her 5 children are tonight homeless after fire gutted their unit at Kingston. It started around 11 o'clock this morning, filling neighbouring units with smoke. Investigators are considering if the fire was accidentally started by children playing with a lighter.
Well, there was no sign of Taylor Swift on the Gold Coast today, but Amanda Abate, one half of Hiddleswift, has surprised fans.
That's right, Max. Tom Hiddleston, who's here to film the latest Thor movie, surprised fans by going for a jog outside his luxury Broadbeach hotel this morning. As you can imagine, he was mobbed by fans, but he didn't seem to mind. He even stopped for photos and a chat with reporters, but one topic was off limits.
And Paul Burt joins us now live from Budds Beach. And Paul, here we are in for a warm change.
Million hits a day. Sounds like my Twitter account. And yes, that warm change is expected to come through. I tell you, Monday we'll see northerlies freshening up. That'll lift the mercury, particularly on Tuesday, up to 26 in some areas, 16 overnight. It's a warm change. Different today, though. 10 to 23 in the city, 9 to 22 Redlands, and 10 to 23 for Caboolture. I'll be back a little later with your full Sunday weather forecast.
Well, Prince George is already following in his father's footsteps. The 2-year-old reveals his love of aircraft like his pilot dad.
The Australian medical invention set to revolutionise first aid at home.
How Brazil is boosting security ahead of the Olympic Games.
And later, technology is hurting our kids' eyes, so how much screen time is too much?
Two young doctors are proving Australian ingenuity is alive and well, developing the world's first digital stethoscope for use in the family home. The device links to a smartphone which can record vital sounds, then send them electronically to a GP or hospital, saving a face-to-face consultation or a trip to emergency. The same doctors also developed a non-contact thermometer, which is simply scanned across the forehead to give a temperature reading.
David Cameron has used the NATO conference in Warsaw to assure world leaders Britain remains committed to European defence despite leaving the EU. He backed that up by committing British troops to take on NATO duties in Poland and Estonia. Brazil's army has been brought in to help with security for the Rio Games. 22,000 soldiers will patrol the streets alongside more than 60,000 police. They'll be conducting security drills from tomorrow. 250 intelligence agents from 55 countries will assist them from behind the scenes. Is Queensland about to get another theme park? The $400 million plan to bring more thrills to the Sunshine State.
Also, a Gold Coast man's brutal charity challenge that almost cost him his life.
Which suburbs have the fastest selling homes on the market?
And would you pay $700 for a hairdryer? Find out why these shoppers were the first to hand over the cash.
Brisbane's most affordable suburbs are now home to the city's fastest selling properties. New data from Domain shows last quarter houses in Chermside were snapped up the quickest, spending an average of just 24 days on the market. Inala, which is also listed as a hotspot for home thefts, came in second. Chermside West, Ferny Hills and Banyo round out the list. Experts say the shift towards low-priced areas is keeping the market afloat.
Hundreds of shoppers have queued to be among the first to secure a new hairdryer, which promises to deliver heat without the noise. But the so-called silent appliance by vacuum manufacturer Dyson comes with a hefty price tag of $700.
If it works well and it does the job, then I think it's worth it.
It's a little bit out of my price range, but I'll be willing to try it for free.
The hairdryer was launched by Myer ambassador Jennifer Hawkins.
Well, it'll be Australia's biggest online event, the new way you'll be answering questions in this year's census.
Plus, remembering the Space Shuttle's final mission.
The Queensland sailors set to make waves in Rio.
And what a sight, the rare whale behaviour caught on camera off the Gold Coast. On this day in 2011, the final space shuttle flight.
Space shuttle spreads its wings one final time for the start of a sentimental journey into history.
The shuttle flew 135 missions over 30 years. For now, America relies on Russia to get astronauts into space.
This time next month, Australians will complete our 17th census. The survey will be different to others, with people now able to choose a no religion option. It was recently done in New Zealand's census and Christianity lost its majority. 16 million people are expected to complete the survey on their smartphone, tablet or computer, making it the biggest online event in our history.
Many of us are guilty of staring into our smartphone or tablet for hours every day, and our kids are copying our bad behaviour. All that screen time is causing eye defects in young children. So, how much is too much? Don't miss that important health report soon on 7 News. It's sport time now. Here's Pat.
Thanks, Katrina. Hello, everyone. Coming up, the Reds copper hiding. More on the Eels' salary cap punishment. The Blues talking up retribution in Origin 3. Distress and pain as Q-Clash unfolds on the Gold Coast. And the Maestro misses a golden chance for another shot at a Grand Slam.
Seven local news. Queensland's #1.
As you've heard, Parramatta's been docked 12 points, fined $1 million and stripped of their Auckland Nines title for cheating the salary cap. Still, through all the dramas of 2016, the Eels remain a chance of making the finals after last night's come-from-behind win over the Roosters. A month from his 35th birthday, a defiant Roger Federer says his time at Wimbledon isn't over, despite losing his first ever semi-final at the All England Club. That's it. Busy day in sport. Don't forget Wimbledon final tonight. Serena Williams, I think, for another one.
Very good. Thanks, Pat. Well, coming up tomorrow on Sunday night, a Mike Willesee true crime investigation.
On Sunday night, the murder that never happened.
There was nothing that suggested this was a murder.
So why did they jail this man and throw away the key?
How long were you in jail?
20 and a half years.
The family who stood by him and the woman convinced of his guilt who learned the truth and became his wife.
Mike Willesee's investigation is on Sunday night after the news. Fuelcast is next.
And excessive technology causing eye defects in young children. How much screen time is too much?
And we're in for another spectacular end to the weekend, a fitting end for the school holidays. All your weather details next.
Today's main stories now. Dallas remains in lockdown after the deadly sniper attack that killed 5 police officers and injured 7 others. A shop worker has fought off an attempted thief using her pricing gun at a Mount Gravatt store. And the NRL has stripped the Parramatta Eels of 12 competition points and delivered a $1 million fine over a salary cap scandal. To Fuelcast now, and the RACQ says drivers should fill up now while prices remain low.
Weather and all the coastal information now. Here's Paul.
Yeah, thanks for that, Maxine. Good evening, everybody. A beautiful start to the weekend today. A little bit chilly this morning. We'll take a look at the temperatures. A dip down to 3 degrees for Ipswich and a bit of frost out there. Tops of 23, 10 to 23 for Caboolture. To the charts, a decaying low is moving further out into the Tasman, whilst a high pressure system moves across the eastern seaboard. Tomorrow, a deep low with a severe cold front in the south will intensify further as it moves through the bight, bringing those isobars closer together. Take a look at that. Around the nation, cold and overcast for Canberra, 2 to 13. Wet in Melbourne, 7 to 12. And Hobart, 4 to 14. Sunny for Darwin. Got to be up there this time of the year. North Queensland, mostly sunny. The tropics, 19 to 27 for Cairns, 15 to 26 Townsville and 12 to 24 Mackay. As we head further south, bit of cloud moving in around Rocky mid-morning, 11 to 24 there, and 2 to 22 clear skies at Roma. In the southeast, southerly winds, a partly cloudy day will bring a cool start again, basically 7 to 23 for Ipswich, not as cool as this morning, 12 to 21 Gold Coast and 11 to 21 Redcliffe and Redlands. Good evening there on the Bayside. Suburbs, kids enjoy the last day of the school holidays. There's going to be plenty of sun around tomorrow, 10 to 22 for Chermside, 11 to 21 Manly, Deception Bay, 8 to 22 Oxley. Now if you're going boating, southwesterly winds, I'll turn southeast, 15 knots. Good news, it should ease by about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Swells up from that low in the Tasman, of course, that southerly breeze keeping on top of it. In the city, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 11, top at 22. Ahead, warming up Monday with northerly winds, 13 to 23, more Tuesday, 15 to 26, cool change Wednesday. Ipswich, partly cloudy throughout most of the week, possible shower moving in over the weekend. And similar on the Gold Coast, warming up to 14 to 22 on Monday, 16 to 24 Tuesday, showers by the end of the week. Let's take a look at the waterways if you're stepping outside tomorrow.
It's been revealed the toddler who died in Caboolture last month suffered horrific injuries in his home only 4 months earlier. The Sunday Mail reports Mason Lee was sent home by child safety officers in March after being admitted to hospital with a number of injuries, including a broken leg. That story in tomorrow's paper.
And that's all from us this Saturday. Thanks for your company.
From all the team, good night.
Good night.